Kathy, who has joined us on our webinar before. It was 6 months ago or so, when we heard from Kathy Stater, who, she's associated with RACE, the disaster recovery organization in Escambia County, and is doing what was reporting to us 6 months ago, the work that she was doing, funded by Volunteer Florida, to provide a support to all of those long-term recovery groups all over. As it turns out, our state has been impacted almost uniformly now by disasters in the last couple of years, pretty named disasters. And Kathy, welcome. Let's see if we can hear you there.
I'm here, and I can hear you very well.
All right, thanks for joining us. And Kathy, when you were last here with us, you were preparing to get on the road for a number of different workshops, and you're still going strong. Tell us about your latest workshop. What's the content of it?
I'd like to do that, Michael, but before I start, I'd like to just do a little bit of an update, because our state has really been in long-term recovery for 3 years now. There was Matthews and Irma and now Michael. That's 3 straight years of large disasters. And I think we should really be thankful for our state government, local volunteers, nonprofits, our churches that have been going for quite a while now and continue to work hard to help our communities recover. I think probably about 70% or more of our counties either have VOADs, COADs, and or long-term recovery groups. And for those that may not know what VOADs and COADs are, they're volunteer organizations active in disasters, as well as COADs, community organizations. These are local, state, and national organizations that come together for response and recovery. So with that, Michael, I think I'll move over into my newest adventure. How's that?
You bet. Sounds good. Tell us about so in Hardy County. You're going to be live in Hardy County this next week, and what's the nature of what sort of things you offer in not only this but the other workshops that you have done in last several months?
Okay, so Hardy County is further south. They didn't have a lot of damage from Hurricane Irma, but they did have some, and they've had case management and working to repair and rebuild homes. So they are beginning to form their long-term recovery groups for the future. They've been through the Irma, they see the need, as many counties do, so now they're really beginning to formalize their groups. The training will be next Thursday at the Hardy County Library, and everyone's invited. Governor partners, nonprofits, churches, just anyone with that big heart to help their community after a disaster. Looking forward to it, and we'll be covering basics like how to build a long-term recovery group, how to connect it with all the committees that will be in the group, and talking about the case management and the unmet needs assessment. And I think a lot of people do not realize this is the group that comes in after people have all the resources are gone. They have no more resources to repair their homes. So one of the good examples I use is a retired couple that worked all their lives. They're now 70. They're paid off their home, very limited income, and they don't have insurance because of other obligations, medical or other things that happened. So this is the group that comes in to help them put their home back together so they can stay in their community and continue life. we covered, let's see, are you on the slide for upcoming training?
Now
Or you
I'm on
moved
the
along
capacity building. I'm on the one with the pictures now.
Okay.
Cool.
Did we pass the one with all the committee members, committee groups?
I was on that, and I just went back to it. So if you want to
Okay.
talk about that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so this is kind of what the committees look like. It has a lot of moving parts, and in the beginning, they all have to work together and figure out what their roles are, what their responsibilities are, and how to work together. It can be very challenging. Hurricane Irma folks are pretty much up and running and established all of this, and they are in the process of rebuilding homes and repairing homes. Hurricane Michael folks are building these committees, and they're in that process of learning what to do and how to do, looking for funding, grant funding, to make all this happen. So on the
I'd like to ask
capacity
a
building-
question on that.
Sure.
So just this last week, we heard from a long-term recovery group that's working in Jackson County and Calhoun County. That's North Florida Inland Recovery. And so, yeah, it's been 5 months since Hurricane Michael. So I'm very impressed with all they've done and their level of organization to have almost not quite as many committees as we see represented here on this slide, but I think upwards of 10 of them. And so they were, of course, speaking on the webinar last week, especially about their housing-related committee and work and need. But, so my question is, we're talking about Hurricane Irma and Michael and Matthew and local disasters also. I mean, these are all things that we're interested in this webinar. Folks in different areas of our state have long-term recovery groups that are in different stages. I wonder, of those groups that you've been working with in your trainings in the last half a year, talk to us a little bit about the staffing of them. Do some of them have paid staff? Is it usually one county per group, or do counties band together? Tell us a little bit about that.
Okay, so Hurricane Irma, which we all know was very big, it covered, a little more than half of the state. Your groups will go out and start applying for grants. Volunteer Florida will put out grants from the money that they raise, different organizations, nonprofits, which I never start naming because I'm going to leave somebody out. And they will, you can't leave anyone out. So they will begin to raise grant funding. Some areas will combine their funding and hire staff. That's kind of down in the Tampa area in those 3 counties. Others may have more than one long-term recovery group in a county and decide to come in and start an organization that will cover the 2 or 3 groups they have. The thing with recovery is there's never going to be enough funding or money. You're just going to have to work with what you have and make it go as far as you can. And that's part of this capacity building is, manpower, money, materials to make this go further. I hope that kind of answers your question, but in all the groups that we have worked with in the past year, that have been in our training and have been working together county to county, they're building networks, and it's really good because someone from one county on the East Coast may call Orange County for reference and how they did something to see how they might do it better. So at this workshop, Catherine from Orange County, she was that concerned citizen that came in and helped start up the long-term recovery, and she's the executive director. She's going to come co-teach with me. So, you know, the networking aspect of this is huge. And I'm very proud of all the groups in Irma, how far they've moved along. And the Matthews will come along also.
Yeah. We have a question in about the Hardy County meeting, and the question is, will you be streaming that so people who can't attend will get to see it, or will it be recorded at all?
I wish we could. It's a workshop with a lot of exercises and role playing. It's very hard if you were just listening to be able to understand it. Maybe that's one of the skill sets that we'll acquire at Grace to be able to do in the future, or to do a bit different training when we put it into a webinar. But with this training, we'll have case managers there, volunteer agencies, all kinds of people come to the workshop. But we will do some sample cases, and we will present those to the Unmet Needs Committee, which are your folks that have the materials and the labor and the funding. So it's really hard to be able to just listen into it.
Yeah, it's not like a webinar. So, well, okay, I think we've got there's your email address, and this person, I maybe write to Kathy and see if there's another workshop you can go to, or maybe you could have Kathy's group come to a workshop in your area. So that's your email address there, kathy.strader@aol.com. Okay, so.
And we are working on that, Clyda, so very good question. So, it's a picture that you love so much, Clyda. I'm sorry. The picture with the capacity building?
Yes, that's
which is
where we are.
Okay, that's one of my favorite pictures too, because these are groups that come in from all over the state and all over the country. Many of them are members of the National VOADs organization, and they come in and do the work for the repairs and the building for these families that communities are trying to help. It's just exciting. There was just some video put out on Team Rubicon that came in and did a lot of work all over Florida. And again, I'm not going to start listing because I will forget somebody. It's a lot of hours, and I hope at some point we can put that together in a report that shows what's going on. The groups from Irma have also created housing for the volunteers to come in, so they have a place to stay. You know, they've created systems for this. The groups register, they're going to take, you know, the transportation, the food, the work, the materials. All of this is coming together very nicely with Irma. And this is where Hurricane Michael will be